Okay, just do a short connection here. It's been a long day. Priscilla was at the doctor getting her teeth cleaned and everything. She's nuts now. She's feeling better. So the Galactic War energies. Yeah, I'll go into some of that. Do what I can. Yeah, it's been a long day. I might have to do it tomorrow. Yeah, there's something else I was gonna do too, and I'm just thinking about it now. Too late now. So Auto.com pro sessions. Shop here. Okay. Yeah, nothing on the YouTube channel. I think it's a bust. Yeah, I'm not gonna get it back. I mean, I can keep trying to appeal it, but it's not getting anywhere. So I'll add a thing. You can also view this stuff on Twitter or Facebook. You don't have to go to Rumble. I don't know if I can build up Twitter. It's just like you have to go, you have to talk about other people and stuff like that. It's like what you do on YouTube and analyze somebody's stuff and like whatever. I'm surprised it doesn't grow on. I guess you have to troll people on Twitter. I don't know. Twitter, I think they can go somewhere, but not the way they wanted to. But anyway. So yeah, I feel like I'm worn out because I am. The reptilians and the felines, like the Lyra. I think there's other stories out there too. I guess that's the big one. There's other, yeah, it's not just that one. I think I came through the channel and also had the reptilians that were weaponized mentally or mentally ill. And they say they saw the felines as a threat also spiritually. It's another reason. I don't know if I spelled that right. Lyra, hopefully. Now I'm kind of wondering about that. Speaking of, I don't think she's from Lyra. She's from Planet Weirdo. It's Priscilla. I'm just let her be. I'm not gonna pick her up too much. Oh, I guess I could. Just be gentle with the whack job. She's crazy. She's out of control. Yeah, it's just the reptilians felt threatened by the felines because of their abilities. Of course, they're just like laying around, not doing anything, and not wanting to fight anybody. And of course, the reptilians, so they'll have vulnerabilities like with us, and destroy them. So we're going through weaponized reptilian manipulation, hybrid beings that are just psychotic, like a weaponized super soldier, you can say, something like it. Maybe they don't use those terms, I don't think, for them. But it's like a super, like a mega. Some of us might have, incarnations where it's like maybe some of us have our footprints there, our fingerprints, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And now we're cat lovers. So I could have been back there at that time. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, make Hitler look like a little, make him look like an ant. So anyway, something like that. Yeah, this reptilian energy is just for, well, you can say it's part of the evolution, and it just evolved into a common dominant species of the physical realms to some level, not completely. But they know how to manipulate the physical realms and how to lower the vibrations of different species to slowly take them over. Well, I know all this. And to dominate their mental state. Basically, put people against each other, beings or whatever against each other. Also use insectoids like diseases. Even in the higher dimensions, they can have disease too. Like energy disease, things like that. You got to really know what the hell you're doing, though. But it can happen. It doesn't happen in all realms. Some realms like just leave us alone. Yeah, it's not all realms that get hit by that, but there's quite a few that do. Well, they just have to have that experience. So yeah, think about that. Like you can like as a reptilian being, we just use that for example. So you can go into like a 5D realm and maybe not interact with, but you can see it, and you just find ways to manipulate it, to lower it to your standard, your level, so you can take it over and even use their energies for weapons and things like that. So it's yeah, pretty probably because I did all those things. So and like if you're a reptilian being that you've been so manipulated by by psychotic scientists and all of that, just to be made into a creature of like a super, almost like a superhuman basically, or a super creature, whatever you want to call it, and just you want to be a dominant race over whoever. Just you're just showing your ability, your might, and not realizing the consequences of everything. Well, you feel like you're doing the right thing as you see, constantly, like in movies and stuff. That's probably a better way of like movies and all of that. It's just to remind us, of kind of like while we're here, kind of like a Cliff's Notes. There's probably more to it than that. The Dragon Realms also. It's all multi-dimensional realms, and so on. It's all just a little reminder, or just maybe a warning not to bother with it. So it depends. Everybody's here. Prissy's here too. So I can tap into something in Orion, the invasion of Earth. Obviously, you can't go into the full details of that. Into the reptilians. But a lot of them are controlled by the Orions. Of course, the Orions have like a utopia realm and all that, but it got corrupted over time. And so on. That's what's going on, like with Israel and things like that. Using like what they found in Syria, and Sirius B and Sirius, and like took over a lot of Egyptians in the Sirius realm and pyramid technologies, and just used that against us. Like there's like a good side of it, and there's a bad side of it, and so on and so on. So I think pyramid technology can be used for good, using it for weather manipulation, terraforming, stuff like that to a certain level. But it can also be weaponized at the same time. So, is it Atlantean technology? It's technology. Yeah, I guess so. I get a vibe from that. But it's also, it's like what we have is like, you can find pyramid technology. Obviously, we're stuck here, so there's no way for us to know. But pyramid technology is pretty well known in other places too. Just we have the Atlantean version of it to shut us down. Interesting. I feel like the pyramids were built to shut us down. Not intentionally in the beginning, but is used to do that now. Which I've connected to versions of that, but never seen it that way. So all right, we're going to the Galactic Wars. Whoever needs to say something. It's interesting you get like the Zeta point of view, kind of like in between. And of course, you get the feline version, you get the reptilian version, and so on. But sometimes I have to check something. Tell me I can't spell anything. Tell me I spelled that right. Nope, I didn't spell it right. Constellation. I'll just have to fix it later. L-A-L. I can't read. Let's see. L. I guess I did get it right. I'm surprised. Okay. Just hanging in there. Okay. All right. We're going to that. Okay. Here we go. Blessings. Greasy with Zetas. We're just coming in, just for our point of view, and most likely the subject matter of going uh, yeah, different depictions of it. So first off, the Zetas involved with the war because they were involved. One of the technologies from the Lyrans, because there were certain aspects of it that the Reptilians did not have. Of course, the Zetas are also known to sabotage the Reptilians and the everybody actually, just because they don't take sides usually. Of course, the Reptilians don't like. So Reptilians use them as droids and you know drones and whatever it might be because they almost like take a Zeta's brain out of their out of their head and put a robot brain at some level because they are so sick of the Zetas messing with their their operations constantly. So one of the reasons why people or souls incarnate as a Zeta just to see different aspects of reality. Of course, you do that with others, but a lot of times the Zetas are like we've been through almost everything. There are also feline Zeta beings. There's like a hybrid of Zeta everything you can think of. There's a Zeta version of it. Doesn't mean it's doing well, but there is a version. Yeah, it's like a monster movie almost. But the felines, some of the felines. So there's a different way of depicting this. So some of the felines became very arrogant towards the reptilians, also was repulsed by the reptilians, almost like kind of like schoolgirls just disgusted by the school bully and all that, or just like or the misunderstood bully or this understood individual, and just got sick of it. It's like, well, you think you're all that, right? And so the reptilians, that's one of the reasons why the reptilians took over. There's different ways of looking at it. Just the reptilians were repulsed by the Lyrans, but they were going to give them a chance. But then they didn't really like how the Lyrans were like representing themselves and saw some arrogance there. Of course, the reptilians have their own arrogance and just didn't care and just put a war. It goes more deeper than that. It's just that they were repulsed by the felines. And like I said, it's not all the reptilians like this or the whole group that no, it was like you just make a couple of reptilians mad and it was just enough to start a war. But it's just like anything else. It's similar to almost like your dark ages, uh, where the feline worlds were so beaten down and became human-like, like a nightmare world. It wasn't completely destroyed. It was eventually it was, but it became very similar to your Earth, actually. Earth storms, Earth just really just basically this world's like a clone of it in a lot of ways. Well, this world is healing the karma that happened there, and it's like agreed upon it because a lot of felines came here, brought their DNA, their knowledge. Of course, reptilians did the same thing. A lot of reptilians had nothing to do with this because their worlds got invaded too. So the felines went after the reptilian worlds and wiped them out. You don't hear about that very often. Not many of them. Not like it's nothing like what happened to the felines, like what reptilians did. But the felines did, felt betrayed and when just they cannot hit that low. They can do some pretty a lot of damage, but they destroying a world like what happened to them is not something that, at least from our perspective. And the reptilian beings that were doing, well, some of them, yeah, were psychotic, just like you have here. Some types either serial killers or just your narcissists, just psychopaths. But it's also to show how far a crazy person can go, or a being of insane you can go. And there's also some insectoid added to that too. So in this world, you're untangling all of this. Eventually, it's good to bring these type of versions of these stories here to this reality to heal it. Doesn't mean everyone has to align to it. It's not everybody's involved with it, but it's kind of seeing this perspective of reality. There's much more. It's just how low can you go, as you can see here. So. Greece, yeah, the Orion Council. It depends on how you want to look at reality, but it is an experiment. It is an experience. It is, yes, in your world's case, can be your planet can be taken so advantage of, as you can see, and a bitterness that is here. Those in power that are from off-world realities, those that control, even Bill Gates, as you can see, is from the usually it is those that dominate your society are from somewhere else. Doesn't mean they have the best intentions, though. Yes, they are building a lot of karma for themselves. Interestingly, but Jeff Bezos, he knows he's going to get a lot of negative karma for things. He's some insider trading there with him too. So it's kind of like enjoying the party before it's all over, always for himself. So disconnected from Amazon. But there's a lot of karma there. It's like, might as well enjoy your life while you can, because the future lifetime is not going to be able to do it. Because there's a lot of shady things that happen with that. There's some good, but there's world domination energy there. Walmart, that's been taken over by another entity to cheapen society, but also, well, to keep it also grounded. So it's not necessarily a negative there. I mean, there is negative there to keep people shut down or into, yeah, it's not a pretty sight. There's a lot of mind control doing there of just poverty. Many are maybe given up on their manifestation abilities. Like they manifest terrible things instead of good things. They've been programmed to manifest as bad things. And some of your retail stores are involved with that. So they feel like they can never get out of that loop. And in some ways they are true. They can get out of it. And what do they do once they're out? They don't know what to do. So, and that's why you reincarnate again and again to kind of clear that. So yeah, you're healing materialism here. And materialism can also be seen as like a disease. Like, in the past, there was diseases, and it's just materialism isn't. I mean, there's a good side to materialism, but of course, disease can also cause an exit point. But materialism here, it's also to get your mind off of it, but some can get way like pulled into materialism where they can't get out. You're healing that. And eventually humanity will go more into each other, like to heal each other's problems. But obviously right now it's causing problems. And this is like the reptilian manipulation to weaponize the human, to go against it. Well, because the reptilians, they see it within themselves too, the vulnerabilities, weaknesses. They're here to make you stronger or drive you insane, whatever comes first. So it's just, I mean, for your world to reconnect to the universe, you kind of have to pass these tests to really to fully reconnect to societies and at least become more, you could be at this level and the society in general just realizes there's a higher dimensional world. But of course, you have religion that's a trickster frequency to keep you going backwards. You remove that, and more people will be allowed to explore because you're not being, depicted as evil, basically. And as more people are able to become aware of what they're doing, because they're already using it now, they're just not aware of it. And just because you're aware of it, and you can also heal it, so you can improve on it. Of course, you can make it worse, and so on. So a lot of the evil people here, your common people, can be using dark magic all the time, of course. And that's how they can, because like if they get enough people to fall for it, like followers, they can continue it. Yeah, you wonder why the villains continue on, because they get enough people to like take on their karma. Of course, they still have to deal with their own karma, but they have enough followers around people that just want their product, wherever it is. It's like kind of like a protection too. That's why they can get away with it for now. Can't save them forever. So the invasion of Earth from Orion's perspective, it was gradual. Basically, it were Orion beings. I just saw once again the weakness here, but wasn't exactly reptilian beings. Those are elf people. Elf beings are kind of repulsed by how humans were a primitive race. And it's like a lot of the more advanced elves just see humans as like a dark side of their evolution, or not even part of their evolution at all. almost like insulted that this is humans here are part of other human races. So look at it that way. Of course, you don't talk about elf people very often for a good reason, because they don't want you in their business. They're observing now. They're kind of finding this hilarious because they don't think people are going to believe it anyway. So not that, it goes back to, like, yes, War of the Rings, you can say Galactic Wars, when you're connected more to your power. And right now people would find that hilarious if like magic and all that doesn't exist. So focus on yourself. Blessings.